Hello everyone, and welcome back to Jack 2 Renegade on the Sony PlayStation 3. I am One Wild Sheep yet again, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we're tackling the hardest mission in the entire game. But before we do that, let's go back to Onin's tent.
The Birdbrain and I were just talking about you, Jack. Onin is very proud of what you did.
What I did, what you did, what you do, it's all the same.
Will you stop with the deja voodoo stuff? It's creepy!
Onin says you must find the Tomb of Mar.
Even now, Baron Praxis seeks the tomb, but only the one true heir of Mar can open the tomb seal.
We believe the kid is the key.
The prophecies say that the true heir of Mar must face the ancient oracle. He alone must circumvent the cunning tests of manhood. He alone must wield the precursor stone, thereby unleashing the... Jeez Louise, fossil lady! Stop with this snooty mythic talk already, huh? You know that it hurts my lips.
Why is Mar's tomb so important?
The fabled precursor stone is rumored to sleep within the tomb, stupid! I added the stupid part. The precursor stone contains vast eco-energies. It can be used for great good, or great evil. I just love saying that last part.
The Baron wants the precursor stone for himself to rule the world.
Of course!
But he is playing with forces he does not understand.
Okay, Pecker. So how do I get this precursor stone?
First, you must go to the dig and find the Lurker Totem. Onin and I have learned that a piece to the Seal of Mar is contained within its ancient carvings. You must find all three pieces of the seal to open Mar's gate into the canyon.
Okay, so that's basically our major next plot point of the game, ladies and gentlemen. We are gonna be looking for these thingies to open up Mar's tomb. And what lurks behind the tomb? Well, I can tell you one thing. A series of challenges lurks behind that tomb, and death apparently as well. Death awaits us on... Oh god, the ground's spazzing. Ugh. The ground seems really... You know, the graphics in this version of the game seem really glitchy at points. And I know the reason why they seem glitchy, and that's because... This was basically... They basically took the PS2 game and just ported it directly to the PlayStation 3 without much optimization from what I recall. So a couple of things might seem stretched, and a couple of the graphics have some weird artifacting issues, and it's not the greatest HD port in the world, you know, folks. It works for what it is, but I'd much rather be playing this on the PS2. Why aren't I playing it on the PS2? Well, I probably already mentioned this earlier on in the LP, but in case I didn't, it's because my PS2 recording stuff is not... It's not going well. That's why I haven't done Ratchet & Clank yet, because I wanted to do Ratchet & Clank as one of my first LPs of this YouTube channel, but because of PlayStation 2 issues, I haven't been able to. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, if you're wondering what mission we're going to next, the next mission we are tackling will be the hardest mission in the entire game. I kid you not. See that giant glowing light from the heavens above? Well, you probably missed it, but there was a giant glowing light from the heavens above. We're heading towards that, and basically, I hope you have ammo. I hope you have weapon energy, and I hope you have health, because you're gonna need it. You are seriously going to need it for this mission. I've seen so many LPs where people rage quit to this. And honestly, it didn't take me that long to get through this part of the game, which surprised me, because I was dreading doing this when I was recording it, because it usually takes me a good... Jesus Christ. It usually takes me like a good hour to 2 hours to beat this mission in particular. Fortunately, I only died like twice, which means... Well, I don't have to cut out much, do I? If I only died twice, so yay me, I suppose. So head all the way over to the Warsums area, and there'll be, well, basically it's like a little symbol, like a bronze symbol thing on the map, and that's where we're going. Basically, that very ominous glow from the heavens above that Zeus is shooting down from the sky, you know?
Get more cruisers in here!
Is it? Piece of seal, yes? Nice and shiny, huh? All yours. Uh-oh, I think Red Trooper's approaching.
Now, why is this so difficult, ladies and gentlemen? Well, for one thing, you can tell it took me a good while because, well, it's nighttime now. So yeah, it did take me some time, but yeah, basically gonna have loads, and I mean loads of Crimson Guards chasing after you. And you also need to take a very specific pathway to get out of here, because if you jump in the water and try to skip this walkway, you'll get blown up by a gun turret. So you have to take the walkways in order to get out of the water slums and get away from these guards, which, as you can tell, are swarming in behind you, to the left of you. Basically, they're swarming in from everywhere. So I advise taking out your blaster or your Vulcan cannon and using them to your advantage. And one thing that I like about this game, and I brought this up in the original Jak and Daxter LP as well, is the actually day to night cycle. I love games that have like a day to night cycle. I don't know why, it adds an extra bit of personality to the world, and I think more games should have something like this, you know? I mean, I think they don't need day to night cycles, obviously, but you know, it just adds that little bit more. I mean, Sonic 06 went with its initial idea of having a day to night cycle. That game would have been still awful, but it would have had a bit, you know, you would have had something else to praise, you know, unless the day to night cycle in itself was just flower bugged. But I digress. But yeah, just take out the Vulcan cannon, take out your blaster, and take down as many of these goons as you can, and try and be quick as possible. Basically, enemies will pop in periodically in waves, so whenever you see a wave of enemies, basically die. I can't think of the word, dissipate. But basically, whenever you see a wave of enemies die, that's essentially a cue to start moving forward and be prepared. You need to have a lot of patience, folks, and you need to be really on the ball with your aiming. As soon as you know someone's behind you trying to shoot you, shoot them. If you see someone in front of you, shoot them. And I advise taking the use of the mini-map as well, because the mini-map on the bottom of the screen, I rarely use it in this game for finding enemies. But I usually use it to find, oh, I gotta go here next, blah blah blah. But, yeah. You're going to want to use this to find out if enemies are sneaking up on you, because it's the best way to sort of know. Oh crap, someone's sneaking up on me, I gotta turn around and shoot them. And that's all she wrote, really. Trust me though, this is a really difficult mission. It's so freaking deceptively hard. And when we get past this point as well, we'll still need to get ready from the guards. Now, we'll still need to get to the car and get away. Because Jesus Christ, look how low my health is. And there aren't many checkpoints, folks. There's one checkpoint throughout the entire mission. So, and I think we're coming up to the checkpoint right now. This giant glowing laser beam from the heavens above is the checkpoint. So, get into it. Huzzah! But we're not out of the woods yet, I don't believe. Actually, no. Oh, okay. We beat the mission. Okay, I'm surprised. I thought I died halfway through. I'm not complaining about that. It's time to go to the mountain temple, folks. Because in the mountain temple, you might remember we got a mission to shoot out a lot of enemies that are sort of taken home. They've taken refuge in the Haven Forest, and they have this brand new cloak camouflage technology, which we want to take out because I don't know, these enemies by here that we're about to face on the PS2 version, I find them really hard. Not so much on the PS3 version, and I know the exact reason why. It's because the PS3 version is in HD. It's flat out easier to see these goons. Because on the PS2 version, it can be quite tricky to find them, because, well, they're invisible for the most part, and you'll see what I mean. You'll see now in a minute. So yeah, everything seems pretty cool, pretty calm. But, as we jump down here, there's one of the enemies now. The only way you can indicate that there's an enemy there is by the skull gem glow, and maybe a faint, like a faint area where where the world's distorted around them. So you're gonna have to be pretty on the ball to get through this mission, folks. But it isn't that hard. It's actually pretty relaxing, pretty easy. I'm surprised they never made a spin-off game. You know, Jak and Daxter hunting. You could just go into random forest and places like that to hunt metalheads. Actually, that probably would have been a successful spin-off as well, concerning Naughty Dog. If Naughty Dog makes it, of course. And actually, ladies and gentlemen, for a lot of people don't know, there's actually a Jak and Daxter 4 that did come out on the PlayStation 2. However, it came out back when the PS3 was actually in its prime, so not many people bothered to buy the Jak 4 because not many people knew about it, and it was basically an upport of a PSP game, which you sometimes get on a PS2 at the end of the generation, and usually they don't turn out to be the best games out there. But yeah, there is a Jak 4. I'm not showing that off when I get the chance because of two reasons. One, I don't own it, and two, I don't know. I don't know if I want to show it off because PSP, PS2, you know, PSP ports aren't usually the best things. Like, I have the PSP version of Ratchet & Clank Size Matters, and it's not the best. I think that's one of the games the PS2 version actually improves upon, because the PS2 version of Size Matters has more buttons, as you imagine. One's a PS2, one's a PlayStation Portable. Nah. It's not like the PlayStation Vita where you can use the touchpad at the back to imitate L2 and R2. It's, you know. Although, the PlayStation Vita I do like. It's there's not many unique games on the system, but as a portable system, because there's so many good games, even if they're all available on console, you know, I think it's worth the investment, personally. But I still don't use my Vita much, because, honestly, I don't go out that much. And most of the games I haven't played, like, I think I got Gravity Rush from the thing I haven't played that yet, and I don't know what that's like. I hear it's like a platform type deal, so I may check it out, but whether what I hear is true, I have no idea. Anyway, it's all. I'm sorry for being a bit off topic, but yeah, we've seen all this before. Going through the forest and killing the mooks. That's the aim of the game here in this mission, folks. Although later missions, well, actually most of the missions at this point are pretty much either hallways or, you know, platforming hallways akin to Crash Bandicoot, or they're going to be a lot of shooty shoot, or a mix of the two. So, in terms of levels now, I think we've seen most of the variety we can see. Although there is a new level type coming up later on in the game. I'm not sure if it's in the next part or the part after, but we are going to be seeing a new level type where basically the game's genre switches completely from platformer to a racing. Which a lot of these platform games on the PS2 era tend to do a lot. They like to switch up their gameplay by adding extra modes and stuff that you have to do, extra objectives, so. And a lot of people don't like when the game switches genre completely, but I don't mind it. If it adds to the game, I honestly don't mind when it does that. Like, for example, Freedom Planet, I'm bringing that game up again. There's a sequence where it turns into a... It turns from a complete platformer into a flat-out shooter section for no reason halfway through the game, and does it detract? No, I actually quite like it, you know. It gives you the opportunity to ride a dragon and shoot things with giant laser beams, and of course, people know me by now. People know that I freaking love dragons, so... So any excuse I have to play as a dragon, I'm usually pretty happy. The only time I'm not happy is in the instance of Spyro 4? Is it? The Spyro game that came out on, like, the PS2, GameCube, and Xbox. You know, the game that turned out awful. What was it called? Enter the Dragonfly, I think it was? I can't remember. It was an awful game, though. I'm not looking forward to LPing that when the time comes to it. In fact, I haven't even LP'd Spyro 2 yet, Jesus. At least when I'm talking about my Spyro LPs, I can at least say the commentary is relevant, because Naughty Dog and Insomniac sort of worked together a lot in a lot of these cases with these games, and they did a lot of cross-promotion. Like, in Crash Bandicoot they had demos for Spyro, in Spyro they had demos of Crash Bandicoot, and they always have little nods to each other in their games. For example, in Ratchet & Clank 2, there's actually a poster in one of the apartment buildings in one of the levels is actually just a poster advertising Jak 2, you know. They used to do a lot of cross promotion. They don't do this so much these days anymore, which it kind of disappoints me, really, because I used to like that, but Insomniac's sort of gone away from being a Sony only developer these days, and it's only when they're working on specific franchises they tend to be exclusive to a system. Like, they're exclusive to the Xbox One for Sunset Overdrive, which, by the way, folks, God, if you have an Xbox One, I honestly recommend you picking up Sunset Overdrive, because that game is It's so much color, your eyes will bleed, but it's such fun. It's one of the most fun I've ever had on a next gen system. Not really saying much, mind you. It's not many games on the current gen, you know, on PS4 and Xbox One that I've really enjoyed thoroughly. But hey, that's one of the games I did enjoy thoroughly, so I recommend that if you haven't played it. Come to think of it, I'm actually quite disappointed with the PS4 and Xbox One as of late, because there's just not enough games. And all the indie games that are out on the systems, with a few PlayStation exclusives aside, are on the PC, and I've already played them on the PC, so I don't know, I'm just really not impressed with the game library on PS4 and Xbox One. At this point, we had such a more broad library for PS3 and Xbox 360, so I don't know. It could just be me wanting more, but I know they could potentially do more games, because look at the Wii U. I mean, not many people have a Wii U because the Wii U was like a marketing nightmare, but there's loads of good games. In fact, I'd argue the Wii U has one of the best game console launches out there, purely because the game output's insane. And by game console launch, I mean within the first 2 years. I don't mean the actual time that the Wii, like, you know, like the Nintendo Wii U launched and that was it for like a year, but you know what I mean. But anyway, folks, that is the end of this part, so thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't be sheepish, people, and I'll catch you all next time. Bye!